You ever have any interesting convos with a guy you fought once you get in the box? Anything funny or anything like nuts? Because you seemed like you fought a lot, obviously, but you stayed. I mean, without, of course, you'd be like, "Let's go, look at the bench" or something like that. But you were pretty reserved as far as you didn't ever seem like you were like crazily pissed off or anything like that. Of course, I didn't see every single fight of your career, but anyway, do you
Yeah.
ever have anything funny happen in the box once you got there?
Well, yeah, I was never doing the belt or F you and guys are getting too crazy. I said, if anyone wants to go, I'm here, let's go. And we'll see how she goes. And I'm just here to fire up the boys in my bench. I could give a shit about you and whatever. But I remember early trying to make the Leafs. I think it was still preseason. And I'm having Brad May was trying to make the Red Wings. So we're at Joe Louis, and he had just gotten like a PTO signed. And it was kind of like in the middle of preseason. So he's out there and I'm trying to make the team. And he's just like, who knows how much he was skating or whatever. And I was like, Mayday, like, can I have one? Can I have one? And he's like, yeah. Second period though. Got to get my legs under me. Second period. I was like, hey, no worries. So second period comes and I go up, Mayday. Like, I need to get one here. And he's like, yeah, one more shift. I got to ease into it. I got to get a sweat on. He's like, absolutely, baby. Absolutely. One more shift. He keeps saying that. I'm like, okay, like, I don't want to like disrespect you and ask you again, but like you promised.
You promised me.
So then we scrap and it's a good fight, spirited, and we both go down and we pop up and I was like, thanks, Mayday. And he was like more jacked and he was like, yeah. And he's banging my helmet. He's like, you keep playing that way, Rosie. You're going to make that fucking team. And I was like, whoa. And then in the penalty box the whole time, he's like, I love it, buddy. I love what you're doing. You're going to make that squad. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. And I was just like, oh my God. It was so sick.
That's awesome.
In the world, yeah. He's the man.
How old would he have been? Like close to 40 or what?
Good question, man. If I'm like 24, he would have been pushing 40 to be fighting the young guys coming out. Good for him, man. Unbelievable. And then he went Battle of the Blades that year, and I was in Toronto, and I went to watch him. He asked if I wanted some tickets, and then we had beers in the dressing room after, and he's just the nicest dude in the world. He's such a beauty. So I like that story because he's you watched him fight like the big boys coming up like back in the day. So it's pretty cool to cross paths with him.
Yeah, no doubt. He's legendary. Fucking that's a great story. Well, see that exciexment. I can't imagine still being fighting in the NHL, being that excited about it at 40 years old. No matter how much money I'm getting paid. Fuck.
He just has to get his legs underneath him.
He's got to get his legs underneath him. Yeah, man.
Or he wanted to get
a longer warm up as you get older.
Yeah, it was like he didn't even skate all summer, and it was his first summer skate, and he's like, just give me a couple more.
Chips. It's funny. My first year, I was in Florida, and I took care of the visiting teams. And Buffalo was in town, and Jim Pizzatelli was their medical guy for a long time. And he used to make robes for the tough guys. He loved all the tough guys. And this guy, he's a beauty, man. And he was really good to me. So he never went back to the hotel. So we're there, and obviously they got Ray and they got May, and I don't know who else they had. It was my first 25 years, 26 years ago. And he's like, who do you guys got down there? And I'm like, Paul Laws has been fighting a lot. He's pretty, he's doing well, like whatever. And he's like, oh, you think you can take Brad May? And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know, Brad. I don't really know who he is yet. Like, it's my first year, and I've been in college. I obviously knew who he was, but
sure.
Anyway, so long story short, all the boys come in and they're getting ready for the game, and he calls me in the medical room, and Ray and Rob Ray and May are standing there, and he's like, hey, Sudsy. They call me Sudsy because of my dad.
Yeah.
He's like, Suds, who'd you say could beat up Brad May? And I was like, what? And he's standing right there, right? I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, you said earlier, who number 3 lost down there? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's like, and Brad May's looking at me. He goes, did you say that? And I'm like, I did. And he started dying laughing. He's like, it's cool, man. He goes, I don't want to fight that big motherfucker. He goes, I'll go with someone else.
You go back to your locker room and like, I might have gotten you in some trouble.
I was like, oh man, I wasn't even trying. He was like, pizza's like Don King, man. He was just trying to get all these fucking tilts going, man.
Oh man, that's hilarious. This wasn't Peter Worrell, wasn't there?
No shit.
Guys keep getting bigger.